だぞ。
やつだ。
巨人だ。
What's up guys, Maxim here, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing fantastic, and you know what time it is actually the time to update our tier list. Of course, we're going to be going character by character, because as you know, I don't like getting the same kind of like tier list and actually place it like in the chart. I like to going through full details of each character and what they do, if they're actually currently good in the game or not. And also there is a lot of changes coming up, especially with Super Awakening 5, and also the new raid that is actually coming up. It's gonna make a lot of characters that used to be useless useful again, and a lot of variations are going to be taken for consideration, especially with the recent changes that came to the game. Of course, we have the Stranger Things collab that recently got added to the game. There is a lot of interesting characters that are going to be meta changers, yeah, we're going through everything from a perspective of a person that has every single character in the game like maxed out, and hopefully we're going to be leaving this video like convinced that these characters have a decent category in our chart. But before jumping into it, if you guys are not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. It would be really appreciated, and also like more than 80% of you that watches the videos are not subscribed yet for some reason. It would be really appreciated if you guys hit that subscribe button. Plus it doesn't cost anything, and become like a part of the perfect squad. We are trying to reach that 1K subscribers, and it would be really appreciated if you hit that like button as well when you're at it, please.
地元じゃ負け知らずか。どうやら俺たちは親友のようだな。
今名前聞いたのに?
My friend.
Alright, with that being said, let's start with it, and let's start with explaining the shard. Starting off with God, which is like characters that are broken. They have like that really high CC, and also like characters that are very used like frequently, and they have like a really high card percentage. So that's why they make him like God or broken, because they can be used in PvP, they can use in PvE. They're very versatile. That's why they earn their place in the highest of the hierarchy as well. And amazing overall for the characters that have high CC, and they're good for a lot of situations such as like PvE, but they're not meta anymore, but they're still like useful, and they're going to be useful for the future as well. Good for a certain task in the game is actually self-explanatory, are actually characters that are good for for raids, they're actually good for final bosses. You can actually use them for the knighthood bosses as well, and probably like some of the events that they add to the game every once in a while. Currently has no use, is out for the characters that are there but you don't use them. They can be on your box as a box CC to increase it, or for the training cave as well. You can actually use them for that as well. So yeah, it's kind of like self-explanatory, similar to good for a certain task in the game. Well, units are really good characters, but they require a lot of resources in order to perform their best in PvP or in PvE. So yeah, that's why we have them like in their own criteria, so people can understand that they actually require a lot of money. Not on global yet are for the characters that are on JP currently, but they're not on global, and I don't want to place or give a tier list for characters that has we don't have it on on global yet based on another person showcase. I wanted to have the unit myself, and then once I have the unit myself, I can make the right choice for it. And of course, there is a lot of showcases online of different characters that can be clickbaity, just to show off the character and make people watch the videos, right? And yeah, please don't skip to the end of the video and watch the whole tier list, because it wouldn't make sense then, because I'm going to be explaining everything bit by bit for you guys. And if you actually skip and then press that like button or that dislike button, it wouldn't make sense. So please hang along with this kind of kind of activity or this video, as we place every character like one by one. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Alot is actually good for a certain task in the game, simply because of his passive, which is increase like the attack 10% and also like HP 10%. So he can be in the back, increasing like your stats. So it's kind of good. Has no use in the game currently. I would say good for a certain task for the game, and also like good. Or amazing overall. Like, she deserves to be amazing overall, simply because I feel like the collab units are getting buffed recently with the ReZero collab, and also like with the Stranger Things collab. So I'm gonna place her an amazing overall, because if you kill person and you have her in the back, she actually remove ultimate gouges, so she can be very, very good if you build up like a whole good team against her or with her. We have Bond, has no use in the game. Currently we don't have any good bonds in the game, so keep that in mind. Beatrice, not on global yet, so we don't know. We have our boy Bellion, has no use in the game. The slime collab has no use in the game, unfortunately, but I heard that there is a buff in the works that hopefully it's gonna be good for the slime collab, so we have to actually wait and see. We have King Arthur. King Arthur has a really high damage. He's kind of decent, but you can actually use him for the raid, which is like the red demon. But if you have the one Escanor, he can be easily replaced with the one Escanor, because he does more damage. But Arthur can be a good option as well. Bon can be good for the red raid as well, because he has like a card that ignores defense, so it makes him decent. Has no use in the game. I feel like she's amazing, simply because she have like the taunt, she have like the buff removal, and plus like her cosmetic. If you get her, it guarantee you to get cosmetic enhancement stones like 6 times, which is really, really good if you don't have like the characters that guarantee you the cosmetic enhancement stone. So that's the I feel like that's the criteria, or the placement that she deserves, because she's very versatile, and I've been using her in the Assault Meliodas team, and she works like a charm. So yeah, Blue Diane has no use in the game, but she have a really nice ultimate. It hits kind of hard if you have her 6/6. He's kind of good. He's not amazing anymore, simply because Pierce fell off like drastically, especially with the Goddess Elizabeth in the if you're playing with PvP. But you can still use them for farming, and probably like some of the final bosses as well that they come to the event. So I'm gonna place them in good, simply because like I said, they kind of fell off, and you can actually use them for farming. So he's kind of good, and plus like he's good for associations for some of the characters. Blue Drow is amazing. He's one of my favorite characters. He has like a really high CC, plus like he has a taunt, and if you pair him up with Tarmiel, he's kind of like very, very tanky. And plus like he have the a really hit like ultimate that hits really, really hard. Sorry. So yeah, we have Blue Easton. She's one of the best buffers in the game, because she have a buff card, and yeah, she's used like frequently in final bosses, knighthood bosses as well. So yeah, she's very, very good. Even in raids, red demon, you can actually use her, so she deserves good for a certain task in the game. Elaine is similar to Easton. She's a buffer, and she can be used in the red demon, but she's an exclusive character that not a lot of people have her, because she came once in Halloween, and I don't think she got back ever since. Has no use in the game. Elizabeth is kind of good for a certain task in the game, because she's kind of like Suicide Squad. If she dies, she gives you like full ultimate gouges and remove debuffs and heals you. So she's very, very good if you want to like depend your kind of like team on ult rush. So she's very, very good for that. Has no use in the game. Similar to the Elizabeth, if he dies, like there's Suicide Squad, if he dies, he gives you like full ultimate gouge, so he's very, very good. So we're gonna place him there. Has no use in the game currently. Has no use in the game, and has no use in the game. Hendrickson has no use in the game. Jericho has no use in the game. I feel like he's good. It's not amazing overall or anything, but he's good simply because he has the cleanse. And if you are a high-end kind of player, you can actually use him for Guild War as a healer, but he's not the best, but his ultimate still hits really hard because it's Shatter. And yeah, I feel like he's really good, so I'm gonna place him in good. But yeah, I don't think he's amazing because a lot of new units that came out has a better CC, and they have like a better option than King, so he's good. Here we have Lilia. Lilia is amazing overall, simply because she's very versatile, and her CC boost that she got from Super Awakening 5 is amazing as well. So she have heals, she have ult removal, and also like she have like a D rank on her ultimate, and plus like her passive is actually really good for a lot of characters because she increased Pierce. So she deserves amazing overall in my opinion. A lot of like people doesn't agree with that, but in my opinion and my personal opinion, I feel like Lilia is always going to be amazing because a lot of like the final bosses kind of strategies like surround her, so I'm going to be placing her there. Matarona currently has no use in the game, but she's going to become very good, simply because there is a new knighthood boss that relies on using like giants, so she's going to be good. Like again, Merascola has no use in the game. She can be as good at associations but has no use in the game. I feel like she's good for a certain task in the game because she's a beast when it comes to PvE content, so I'm gonna be placing her here. She used to be, currently has no use in the game, but if you have her maxed out for some reason, I feel like Mono can be very good for PvE content, not in PvP, but I feel like she's good because I tried her out like in the raid, which is like the red demon, and she's really good, and she's good for some of the final bosses as well. So we're gonna place her there. This guy is like good for a certain task in the game, which is like the raid, like and only the raid and maybe the training cave. Yeah, it's like there's something that I mentioned earlier, like a lot of these characters that I plays like currently has no use in the game, you can actually use for the training cave, so keep that in mind, because the training cave like requires a lot of characters that are actually you are, so that's your option right there. So we have Bond as well. He has like the defense down skill, and he's really good for the red demon as well. Slater is similar to Bon. He's actually good for the red demon as well, especially that he has his passive that works very well against the first HP of the red demon, which is like if you don't have any ultimate gouges, increase like the crit chance by 300%, which is crazy. So we're going to be placing him there. Arthur currently has no use in the game, but I feel like these kind of characters are gonna be better and better because of the new tower, like tower trials. So that requires you to use a lot of different strategies, like SRs and so on. So I feel like these characters are going to be useful in some scenarios when it comes to the tower trials. So keep that in mind. Aaron is actually good for the red demon. He's actually good for a certain task. Is not amazing, but he's actually good if you pair him up with Tarmiel in PvP. So he kind of has a good task, which is like increase like defense related stats, I think, or defense by 60%, which is crazy, and makes Tarmiel like very tanky. So I'm gonna place him there, but he doesn't like do any crazy damage or anything. Has no use in the game. Has no use in the game. Has no use in the game. And of course Jericho is good for a certain task in the game, simply because of her passive, which is increased related stats, like attack related stats by 10%, if you are a speed attribute, which is really very good. She has no use in the game. Has no use in the game. King, I'm gonna place him in good for a certain task. He's not amazing overall because like he's very dependent on a whole team, not on his own sort of. So I'm gonna place him in a good for a certain task because he's one of the best strategy like in the game to farm anvils right now, and also like the new super coin or the coins strategy like farming. And I feel like, I don't know, you need him 6/6 though in order for him to work, so I'm gonna be placing him there. He's not anything special, and yeah, I feel like he's one of the worst festival units, but Night Marble been sneaky. Because it knows that people actually skipped him for the one Ascanor out of the time. So what they did is make like the anvils and the coin farming kind of team like around him as well. So yeah, it's kind of sneaky. He's good. If you don't have any alternatives, he's not amazing because he's not that consistent. He's good associations for a lot of characters, but he's not consistent, which makes him good and not amazing, because he needs to crit in order to do damage, and sometimes he doesn't crit. So you're gonna be placing him here. Kane is good for a certain task in the game. Previously, he used to be like really bad, which is like here, and now he became good for a certain task in the game, simply because the new raid is gonna make him good, and he actually buff up like characters because of his passive, like when you have him in the back. So yeah, he's gonna be good. So Kane, yeah, we're gonna see some Kane doing action. Let's go. Tarmion, what is it called? Chandler is not on global yet, but I saw a really amazing like showcases when it comes to him, so I can't wait to see him in the game. He's good for a certain task in the game simply because of his passive, which is like decrease like defense, like crit resistance and crit defense by 30%. So you can actually use him in tower trials, you can use him in the back in PvP. And the only issue is that he's really expensive to max out because his cosmetics are SR. They're not like even, no, I think they're SR. They're not even SSR. So they require a lot of like materials to max out, and plus like you have to make him UR gear to have like the high CC. It's kind of messy when it comes to Death Beers, but he's a good unit you can have in the back. Del Rey has no use in the game. I'm gonna place him in good for a certain task in the game, Denzel. So simply because he's really good against the Crimson, and there is like some cheat like strategies that you can use in the tower trials in the second floor right now with the Denzel. So he's kind of good for PvE content. So we're gonna place him there. Dajito, this guy has no use in the game, and of course we have the Stranger Things collab 11. A lot of people are begging me to know what kind of like tier list or placement that I'm gonna be placing her in my tier list. I'm not gonna place her in broken, simply because she's a kind of like a glass cannon that dies very, very quickly. But the issue is that there is a lot of green units in the game right now, such as like Lolly Merlin that does an incredible amount of damage. And of course, like the issue is that a lot of characters have a higher CC as well than 11, because her CC is kind of low, so makes you there is a risk to go second, and if you do, and there is like a high kind of damage, like cannon damage, that can one shot you, you're kind of like in a bad spot. But she's good for farming. I used her some in some dungeons, and she's kind of good. And I saw like some strategy that people use her in tower trials as well. She's kind of like the blue like Sario, and yeah, she's really, really good. She have like a single target that hits really, really hard. So I'm gonna be placing her there. Simply because she's amazing. Like she's very close to broken as well. She's kind of like in the middle here, if there is like something in the middle. And I like her. I've been enjoying her. And like I said earlier, the only issue is that she's there's a lot of green units at the moment. So maybe if we don't see like green units in the future, maybe it's about to change. She's broken. She's one of the most hated characters in the game, but we have to admit that she is one of the best characters because she's very versatile, simply because she have a heal, and also like she have a stun, and also she have like a reflect thingy, and her passive is a revive. It's kind of like merging 5 characters into one, and yeah, it's like one of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like just like merge, like it's nuts. She's good for a certain task in the game. She's good for the knighthood boss. Currently not on global yet, but I can't wait to see Amelia in the game. Has no use in the game. Gahard has use in the game because I saw some new strategy for the new raid with her, so she can be really good for the new raid, so we're gonna place her there. Has no use in the game. Good for a certain task if you don't have any good characters, and good for tower trials. He's good for a PvE content because of his passive. Sorry, I almost yawned there. Good for a certain task in the game, simply because like his passive, which is like increase damage dealt by 30% and decrease damage taken by 30% as well, or 35, which is very, very good for a lot of new players that doesn't have a lot of characters. Has no use in the game. He's gonna be very good for the new raid. Like he's one of the best characters for the new raid as well. So we're gonna be placing him there. Diane is amazing. She's really good, especially because of her talent and also like her defensive stats. She's really good. I like her, and now you're going to be seeing her a lot in PvP, especially with the one Escanor like running around. Her talent actually protects like a lot of characters from being one-shotted, and I like the fact that she's a good associations for King. So she's gonna be placed there. I feel like this one is good. She's not amazing, but she's good. She's very situational, and some people like use her for the Assault Meliodas team. She used to be here in Amazing, but I feel like she deserved to be good and not like nothing much, just simply because she's not that versatile. So I'm gonna be placing her in good. She's kind of good. Green Diane doesn't have any use in the game. He has a good task in the game, which is, and I started to like to see him a lot like recently. His only issue is that Demon Hendrickson has a really low CC, but he's good for gold farming right now. And if you are not familiar with that strategy for some reason, I made a whole video explaining how you can actually use Demon Hendrickson like team in order to like farm gold as fast as possible. But yeah, he's really good for gold farming, and you can actually have him in the back because of his passive, which is increase I think debuff skills damage by 50%. Which is really good. Green Demon Meliodas. A lot of people like been upset with me because they were like Green Demon Meliodas is good. What do you mean? He kind of like really good. The only issue with him is that there is a lot of red characters running loose in PvP, so he's kind of like, he doesn't have a high crit resistance. It's like almost 0 or something. But the issue is that the issue is that he doesn't have like a really high CC either, but his damage is kind of good. But he's gonna be good for the new raid that is actually coming up next week for level 90. So yeah, he's gonna be good. So I'm gonna be placing him there. Not amazing, not anything special. I'm gonna place him there. Droll is amazing overall, simply because similar to the blue Droll, high CC, and also like he's very versatile. She's good. She's not amazing overall, but her damage is kind of good as well. And her ultimate, if she crits, like she does a really decent amount of damage. But yeah, she's good for like the guild war at the moment. So yeah, but nothing very special. But her damage is still very good. Has no use in the game. You can use her for farming, and you can actually use her for some of the... I feel like she has no use in the game, to be honest with you guys. Like, I'm going to change her. She used to be here, but I'm going to change her for no use in the game at the moment. Simply because, yeah, I've been thinking, and I feel like she deserves to be there. Green Elizabeth is gonna be playing like a huge role when it comes to the new raid as well, simply because she's very versatile, and plus like her ultimate gives 2 ultimate captures to all of the team, so it's really good. So we're gonna placing her there for the new raid. She's gonna be very essential if you don't have like the right characters. So if you didn't work on her yet, start working on her, because she's gonna be very good. Has no use in the game. Our boy Escanor, Green Escanor. He used to be amazing overall, to be honest with you guys, but I feel like we have to drop him once. Simply because, like I said earlier, the new characters took his place, like, and took over him. And he's not used as frequently as it used to be. He used to be amazing, but yeah, he's gonna go down a notch, but he's still good for some of the PvE content. You can actually still use him in PvP when the new rule that comes out like every once in a while, where like type advantage or type disadvantage do more damage, sort of. You can actually still use him, and still he's good for a great punch of like associations for a lot of characters. So you can actually use him as well. But he's not amazing overall right now. He's good. He's not bad. He's not like not used for anything, but he's good, I would say. Just good. Astarosa is amazing overall, in my opinion. I would actually rank him up more if it wasn't like the fact that he has like a low CC, but he's very versatile. You can actually use him for some of the tower trials, like the previous one at least, and also like he's a cheat code for a lot of teams right now, and especially when Chandler, and there is a great combo with Tarmio as well. So I'm gonna be placing him there. All right, he's gonna be doing there. Whaley unit, you have to spend money to actually LCC people in order to block their ultimates with them. So Fraudrun is going to go there. Currently has no use in the game. Green Gother is by far the best unit in the game right now. So if you're not familiar with his passive, is actually if you have different races in your team, he increased like the attack rate stat by 7% for each with each turn. So and he plus like he has a rank up, and he's really decent, and he's really good for ult control as well. And you're gonna see him in every single team, like almost until like the ReZero collab, if people are using that. But he's really good. So I do recommend you saving gems for him. Like as soon as you actually get like see his banner and you don't have him, like drop all your gems like on him in order to get him, because he's a key unit for the new raid as well. And yeah, he's used for everything, and he makes even bad units good, so keep that in mind. Has no use in the game, even though that she's going to be playing like a key role, because she's a really good associations for Jericho, and Jericho, like Green Jericho, is gonna be good for the new raid as well. But I'm gonna place her no use in the game. Hellbrum, Green Hellbrum is really good, simply because he's one of the best buffers in the game, and he have a decent passive which makes him like survive longer, because if he actually like drops like below 0, I think he actually gets revived, so it's actually kind of good. So and his buff card, you can actually use him for Grey Demon, final bosses, or knighthood bosses as well. So he's very versatile, so I'm gonna be placing him here. Green Jericho used to be here, currently has no use in the game, even though she used to be one of the best damage dealers in the game. But now with a new raid, she's going to be good again, because she's gonna be hitting very hard, especially with her passive, which is increased like crit chance based on the skills that you actually use. So she's very good. So I'm gonna be placing her here. We have Green King. He has a really decent CC, and his ultimate hits really hard. He's good for the Grey Demon at the moment. He's one of the best Grey Demon damage dealers, like beside Lottie Myrna as well. But he's good for the anvil farming if you don't have like Festival King maxed out, and also if you don't have Lost Vein Meliodas, or if you don't have like Easton, I think, maxed out, you can actually use him as well, because he hits really hard. Has no use in the game. I'm trying to finish it as fast as possible. Myrna, I feel like she's amazing overall, simply because she's versatile, and you can actually use her with every team if that is actually dependent on ult rushing, and she's a great association for a lot of characters. I'm not gonna place her in good, even though that she's hovering in between, but I'm gonna be placing her there, simply because of her passive, and also like her versatility, because you can actually use her in PvE as well. So we're gonna be placing her there. I want to I'm this close to ranking up Escanor because of the new raid, but he's kind of hovering right now between amazing and good. But like I said earlier, he's not that versatile anymore. So but he's a good association for a lot of characters, so I'm gonna leave him there. She's amazing. I feel like she's good and amazing at the same time. She's kind of like Escanor, but she's closer to amazing than actually good, because I actually tried her out with a lot of like different teams, and she hits really hard. And also like when level 90 comes out and she's missing like one headpiece, she actually becomes one of the highest CC like in the game right now. So she's amazing, and she hits really hard. But you do need to build her like UR gear, and like it's kind of messy. But honestly, now that I think about it, I feel like she's closer to amazing than closer to good than actually amazing. Yeah, let's leave her there. She's good. She's very situational, so I'm gonna leave her there. I feel like he's good for a certain task. He's good. He's not bad. But yeah, you can use him in PvP. You can get away with him if you have the right team. And plus, with Blue Zelders coming out, I think he's gonna be very useful as well. He's good. He doesn't have a task in the game, and but he's good for PvP if you try to use that. He has no use in the game. Roxy is good. She's not bad. She's not like drastically like amazing or anything. She's just good. You can actually use her in the human team if you decide to. But yeah, she's decent. Shin is good, and he's good for a certain task in the game as well, because he's one of like I mentioned earlier with Demon Hendrickson, he's one of the best like gold farming team, and yeah, he hits really hard in when it comes to PvE content, so we're gonna leave him there. He's one of the best buffers, and plus like his passive is kind of good in PvP if you decide to use a defensive team. Has no use in the game. Has no use in the game currently. Has no use in the game. She's good. She's like a resistant buffer sort of, but yeah, she's not amazing or anything. She's very situational. Currently I use her in Guild Wars, but yeah, there's nothing special about her. She's just good. Gustav has no use in the game currently. Has no use in the game. Has no use in the game. I'm trying to finish them as fast as possible, because this video is going to be 1 hour long. Jenna has a good task in the game, or she's good simply because of her cosmetic, which is what is it called? Guaranteeing an enhancement stone each time you do like a raid, which is like the red demon, I believe, to have her in the back if you have her cosmetic. And yeah, she's good for a certain task in the game because she increased like health by 30% for the HP attribute heroes. And of course we have our boy Jim. Our boy Jim is gonna go for the amazing overall simply because of his passive. He has a decent CC, it's not the highest, but he is good because he's buffing he's buffing like collab units because of his passive, which make them like do 40% more damage, I believe. And he's good because he's have the stun, the ult removal gouge like passive, skill, and he has this what is it called? The weak point ultimate that hits really hard and has poison. He's very versatile, so I feel like he's one of the best like collab units like right now. He's hovering. It's hovering between like Stranger Things like 11 and also like Hopper, so they're kind of good. Has no use in the game. Kyo is amazing. He's still like used in knighthood bosses, and also like I saw some teams around him if you're smart with it. And he has like he hits really hard. I'm gonna place him in Levi, please. Levi, why are you useless? She's good for a certain task in the game because you can actually use her for Grey Demon, and also like with the new raid coming up, she's good for the new raid as well because of her passive, which is like the beginning of the turn you rank up skills, so she's gonna become very like essential. The only problem is that even though that she's an Elizabeth, you cannot use the same UR gear for her, which is kind of stupid. Netmarble, she's Elizabeth, just give her the same UR gear. That's so dumb. Lolly Murden, honestly, she's broken. Like you can use her on any team, and when I'm using the one Asken right now in geared PvP, she one-shots him like crazy, and her passive is kind of like you have to hit her like 3 times or 4 times in order for her to go down. So I feel like she's god broken. I saw some showcases for a lot of people that put her amazing overall. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe her ultimate doesn't hit hard. She's kind of like a defensive ultimate, but still she's amazing. She hits like really hard, and she blocks like healing skills, and her card just one-shots everybody. So I'm gonna place her in broken. I don't know what people are thinking. Lost Vein for me is still broken for me. A lot of people deranked him from the initial like broken to amazing overall, but for me he's still broken simply because he has a really high CC. His ultimate hits very hard, and you can use him for both farming and also like in PvP as well. And plus like there is the anvil farming that you can actually use him with. You can actually use him in the gold as well, and his passive is kind of broken because if he gets hit, he actually get his card ranked up. There is not a single unit in the game right now that does the same as well. So he's actually really good if you have like a really high ult level as well. But he's hovering between amazing and broken, but he's closer to broken than amazing. That's why he deserved to be broken. Well units, you need like to have full cosmetics, full 15% like UR gear for him in order to out CC people. So he deserved to be a well unit. Is good. She's not amazing, but she's kind of good if you have like the right team for her. She's hovering between amazing and good for a certain task in the game. Maybe I should like de-rank her as well for good and make her good. I feel like she deserved to be good there, and simply because Mai like is very dependent on the team that you have that gives her the buffs, but which makes her kind of dependent on other characters. She doesn't do damage on her own, so she's gonna be placed there. Assault Meliodas, I used to place him here, but I'm gonna be placing him here, broken, because there is a lot of new characters or demon race characters that came to the game that made him better and better, and plus like there is a new Chandler coming up that makes Assault Meliodas better. And if you have like a really high level for Assault Meliodas, you're most likely to hit very, very hard with him. So I'm gonna be placing him here. I like Assault Meliodas, and I've been playing him in ungeared PvP for the longest time, and each time I use him I still get to champion 1, so I'm gonna be placing him there. I'm a bit biased because I enjoy him so much, but don't judge me, alright? So he's really, really good. Marma, good for a certain task in the game, because he currently, I use him in the Tower Trials, like the recent one, in the last floor, the third one, when you need like SR like units. I actually use him because he's bad, which is increase like speed attribute units HP by 30%, so it's kind of good. So Mikasa has no use in the game. Mike currently has no use in the game, or what should I say? Maybe I should add it to be mediocre here, but yeah, he's kind of like he's in the middle, like he's nothing special. Like I don't know, I expected better, because when I saw him, like I saw his ultimate and everything in the trailer, I thought he's gonna be better, but he's kind of has no use in the game. The slime collab needs UR gear, like they need UR gear. Like what the hell, Netmarble? They're the only units in the game right now that doesn't have UR gear, which is sad, I believe. Let's place him there, like clean up a bit. I think it's looking good. It's looking good so far. Yep, Nanashi is good. His passive is like works in the back, and he's very, very fun to use in PvP. He's nothing amazing, but you can actually use him in the back as a defensive unit. I saw a lot of people actually use him, so I'm gonna be there. He's good, nothing special, but you need him, like he's hovering between here and here. Because he's a whale unit, if you don't know, because you need his ultimate 6/6 in order for his ult to do kind of wonders. He's kind of good, but he still currently has no use in the game, so I'm gonna be placing him here. Currently they're not here yet. He's good. He's one of the best buffers in the game, and plus like his level 3 like buff makes him like very good, because it removes any debuff. Has no use in the game. Has no use in the game as well. Derriere is amazing. She used to be broken, and I feel like she deserves to be broken, because she's one of the best PvE units in the game. Simply because she hits really, really hard, and there is like a strategy around like the final bosses and also the knighthood bosses, and even like some of the PvE activities that requires like high ranking is actually you use Derriere. I feel like she's still very, very good. Maybe she's not broken because she's not used in PvP anymore. I used to like to rank her up here, but I'm gonna place her in amazing, simply because she hits hard and she's one of the best PvE units in the game. Has no use in the game, but she's gonna be good in the future. Has no use in the game, even though that you can actually use them in the early game as well. Currently has no use in the game. She's good, similar to Jenna or Zenari. She guarantee you cosmetic enhancement stones if you use her in raid, I think in Crimson. Currently has no use in the game. Currently has no use in the game. A lot of Elizabeths that has no use in the game. Jesus Christ. Alright, Escanor used to be like amazing overall, but I'm gonna be placing him here just like because he's hovering between amazing and you know why? Because he's not used as often anymore, and the mono red kind of died, but he still has a really high CC, and his ultimate hits very, very hard. And if there is like any events, you can actually use him, because like I said, he hits really, really hard. But unfortunately, he kind of fell out of meta, so we're gonna be placing him there, unfortunately. Red Acerosa has no use in the game, even though that there is some teams around him, but has no use in the game. Has no use in the game currently, unfortunately, but you can use him for, I'm gonna be placing him good for a certain task here, simply because if you have like a really high ult level for Derriere, you can actually use him for Crimson, so he's kind of good. Just to give him justice, you can actually turn like the Crimson if you actually have him, but I still done it without him. With Zeldris instead, but I'm gonna be placing him there just because it's Galen. Like, it's Galen. Let's just do it, boys. He's a good unit for Guild Wars and also like some of the Assault Meliodas kind of team. He's kind of versatile. And he have the cleanse. His commandment is kind of good as well. So yeah, we're gonna place him there. He's broken. I placed him in amazing overall, like previously, but with the ReZero collab coming up, like actually buffing unknown race, I'm gonna be placing him in broken because he's gonna be versatile, and plus like he have like the skill block and also like the ult control sort of with his ultimate, so he's very good, and the rank up as well. Not to forget about that. Has no use in the game currently. Has no use in the game. 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 He's good. Ugh. He's good as for association, but has no use in the game, unfortunately. I'm gonna place him there. Has no use in the game currently. We have Milaskula is good for the Assault Meliodas team. And she's really good for the Guild War. I recently made UR gear for her, but she's not amazing overall. I wouldn't say she's amazing because her skills like hits really low, and her ultimate is nothing special, but she's good. Maybe not good for a certain task, but she's good. So I'm gonna be placing her there. She has no use in the game. Has no use in the game. Has no use in the game currently. Has no use in the game. Roxy is good for the Guild War, but other than that, she's not used for anything. Has no use in the game. Has no use in the game. She's good because her passive, which is like having her in the back, actually heals you, recovers like 10% of your HP at the start of your turn. So she's really good, and you can actually see her in a lot of the PvE content game. Like, so I'm gonna be placing her there. Not good for anything. She's similar to the blue Jericho, which is like increase attack rated stats by 10%, for the strength attribute instead of like the speed one. So it's actually good. Has no use in the game currently. Why we're lying? Has no use in the game currently, so we're gonna be placing him here. Zeldris is amazing. For me, he's still amazing. The red one hits really hard, even though that he has HP and defense, and you can actually place him in the back with every like demon race or something, or anyone with commandment, which is like makes them like do more damage. So his CC is really good, and you can actually use him for a lot of like the associations as well. So I'm gonna be placing him there. I just like red Zeldris. He's very versatile. Not on global yet. The slime collab is useless, like I mentioned earlier. Rugal, he's amazing, but good. Like similar to the blue, like Demon Meliodas. He's good for Guild Wars at the moment. He's very good. But the problem with Pierce is that their CC is very low, and if you start second, especially if you have like Lilia, you're going to be risking Lilia getting one-shotted, and then they're not going to be doing damage. But you can still use them for farming and also like some of the final bosses activities. So I'm gonna be placing them in good for a certain task, like, or kind of good. So I'm gonna be placing them there because they deserve to be there. Has no use in the game. Sariel is broken. To be honest with you guys, like there is a lot of factors that make Sariel broken simply because of the grace system that they have. Maybe if there is like other characters that have graces, maybe it will like make a drastic change when it comes to like ranking them as broken. But I feel like all the archangels that have graces or gives like an extra for characters, I feel like they deserve to be broken because, for example, Sariel hits very hard, and also like he has like AoE, so you can actually use her for PvE, and also like he can hit hard when used in PvP as well, and plus you can actually use him as association as well to make like some characters that relies on crit even better. So I'm gonna be placing him in broken. Currently has no use in the game. Currently slime, no use in the game. And we have Tarmiel. Similar to Sario, I'm gonna be placing him in broken because a lot of people place him in amazing overall because he doesn't hit hard, but it's not about damage all the time. It's about like their versatility, their link, their associations. There's a lot of factors that come to place when it making like god like tier lists, for example. Because for example, Tarmiel, when Chandler comes out, there's a lot of teams that is going to be around him, and plus he has like ult control. His ultimate hits very hard, and plus like his grace actually heals you over time depending on your defense. So it's really good to have Tarmiel like an association for a lot of characters. For example, for me, I used Roll and I used Tarmiel as an association to actually heal him up like each time. So it's kind of broken, and plus like his defense kind of thing is actually really good as well. So we're gonna be placing him here. He's one of the highest damage dealers in the game right now with a lot of like kind of numbers. He's not like the best versatile kind of character, but unfortunately he might drop down, like be dropping down like the rank for me. Amazing overall, maybe, especially that they're releasing a lot of green characters that are meant to actually like kind of counter the one Escanor right now, so he's not gonna be as meta as before. I feel like Netmarble is doing this on purpose, like releasing green units that are meant to be kind of like killing the one as fast as possible, because they know that a lot of people spend all their resources on the one Escanor because he's a hype, and also like when you see or when you saw like him coming to the game, you got really excited and you were like, oh okay, I'm gonna skip Festival King and I'm just gonna go for the one Escanor. So that's exactly what they're doing right now. They're doing it on purpose in order to like to nerf the one Escanor in PvP as much as possible, but you can actually still use him in the back probably, or like in some teams. But yeah, he's slowly aging, I would say, but he's like fine wine. He's aging like in a really slow kind of good way. Tweak God is good simply because of his passive, and plus like some of the knighthood bosses can actually use him in the back as well. Simply his passive increased like HP related stats by 30%, so it's actually really good for survivability base. Has no use in the game, and of course, well, I feel like I should add trash, but I'm not gonna add it. But I'm gonna be respectful, and I'm gonna be making it like currently has no use in the game, because like I said earlier, I don't want to have a trash kind of category, simply because a lot of characters in the future can become good all of a sudden. So keep that in mind. It's Netmarble and it's a gacha game. With time, they can actually release any activities that make any bad unit actually useful, especially knighthood bosses, final bosses, tower trials now. So I'm gonna be placing him here because his passive is kind of good, but the only issue is that it's going to be like reducing your sort of like stats as well, but it kind of protects you in a certain way. So I'm going to be placing him there. Of course, Jenna is actually similar to Zenary, and also like the red Elaine as well. It kind of guarantees, if you have their cosmetics, it guarantees you to have like a cosmetic upgrade stones like with every raid, so it's kind of good. And our boy Zaratras at last. Our boy Zaratras is very important now. He used to be not used for anything, or trash, whatever you want to call it, but now he's going to be really good, simply because of the new raid that is actually coming up that depends on that depends on green units, and plus like he got a buff or like a change where his card became close range instead of like long range. So he hits really hard when it comes to the new raid, and you're going to be seeing a lot of teams around him. So if you have like Zaratras like maxed out, rejoice, because he's going to be very good. And yeah, that's it. This is like, let's clean it up a bit. Let's put him here so we can have some kind of understanding of the tier list, especially with the changes that coming up with the super awakening, and plus like we have like the level 90 that is actually coming up, and the new raid that changed, like is going to be changing the game drastically. But this is my tier list for the month of May, I would say. Like a lot of characters are really good and versatile. That's why I place them in good, amazing overall characters that you're going to see frequently, and you can actually use them with different teams. Like I mentioned earlier, God are the characters that hit like very hard, and they're mostly versatile in the game, and you can actually use them for everything. So I'm gonna be placing them there. But yeah, I hope you guys find this helpful, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, as all likes are really appreciated and do help the channel to grow. Again, currently more than 80% of you that watches the videos are not subscribed yet, so please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It would be really appreciated, and plus, like, it's free, it doesn't cost anything. Come on, guys. It's so yeah, this is my tier list, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, catch you guys in the next one.